The first thing I learned about marrying an alien wasn't the glowing eyes, or the way her voice sometimes carried two tones at once. It wasn't even her ability to lift a cargo crate twice her size without breaking a sweat. No, the first lesson, the one I'll never forget, was that my wife does not sleep. Ever. The beginning. When I first met Lyra, I didn't think much about her being, well, different. Sure, she had silver-tinted skin that shimmered under the sun, and her long hair looked like strands of spun glass, catching the light in rainbow streaks. But I'd been stationed on Vega Station long enough to know better than to stare. She was working in hydroponics, trimming the nutrient vines with careful, elegant precision. I'd gone down there just to get away from the noise of the docking bays. Somehow, conversation sparked. Lyra laughed at my clumsy attempt at her language, then taught me the right word for thank you. Her laugh was melodic, deep but warm like wind across crystal. I found myself going back every day, accidentally wandering into the gardens just to hear it again. A few months later, against all odds and advice from my shipmates, I married her. It was romantic, reckless, and thrilling. A human dock worker and a radiant alien botanist. It sounded like a legend waiting to be written. What I didn't know was that Lyra's species, the Thalirians, don't require rest. Oh, the middle. The honeymoon phase lasted, about 1 week. 1 week before I realized that while I needed a solid 8 hours of sleep, Lyra filled every single minute of the cycle with activity. The first night, I woke to the sound of humming. She was reorganizing our living quarters. Every drawer, every cabinet, every crate of supplies, perfectly sorted, labeled in 2 languages and color-coded. 3 in the morning. The second night, I was jolted awake by the smell of cooking. Lyra had decided to experiment with Earth recipes. By dawn, our quarters were filled with alien interpretations of pancakes, omelets, and something she swore was coffee, but tasted like sweet battery acid. The third night, I stirred from my slumber only to find her hovering inches from my face, her eyes glowing faintly. "You twitch when you dream," she whispered, fascinated. I counted 12 times in the last hour. I nearly had a heart attack. By the end of the month, I was running on fumes. Lyra meant well, of course. She adored me. She wanted to spend every possible second together. And when I slept, she filled the time with chores, art projects, or worst of all, ideas. I'd wake up to blueprints spread across the table, half-assembled machinery scattered across the floor. "I've designed a new water purifier," she'd say, smiling as though she hadn't just kept herself occupied for 8 hours straight while I lay drooling into my pillow. One night I finally broke. "Lyra," I groaned, rubbing my eyes as I stumbled out of bed. "You have got to rest. Just lie down. Close your eyes. Pretend, at least." Her silver brows furrowed. "But why would I rest? My body does not require it." "Because mine does." I snapped, then immediately regretted it when her expression fell. Silence stretched between us. Then she tilted her head, eyes narrowing in that analytical way of hers. "You are fragile. You require stillness to regenerate." "Yeah," I muttered. "Humans need sleep. It's not optional." She pressed her cool palm against my cheek. "Then I will learn. For you." That night, she lay beside me, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. She didn't move, didn't blink. Just lay there. It was worse. So much worse. I tried to ignore her glowing gaze burning into the darkness. I tried to pretend I didn't hear her whispering every so often, asking if I had entered the dream state yet. After an hour, I gave up and groaned into my pillow. "Lyra, please," she sighed. "I cannot do this. It feels unnatural." She sat up in one graceful motion. But I will find another way. The conflict. Her other way nearly destroyed our apartment. Lyra decided if she couldn't sleep, she would synchronize her cycle with me by occupying herself quietly. Quietly, in Lyra's vocabulary, meant building a miniature greenhouse in the corner of our quarters, with glowing plants and humming machinery. The neighbors complained. My boss noticed the dark circles under my eyes. My friends joked I looked like a zombie. Finally, after one too many sleepless nights, I marched into the hydroponics bay and confronted her. "This isn't working," I said, my voice hoarse from exhaustion. "I can't keep up. I can't live like this." Her luminous eyes softened. "You regret marrying me." The words cut deep. I shook my head. "No, never. I didn't realize what it meant. Humans and Thalirians, we're not built the same. But that doesn't mean I don't love you." For the first time since I met her, Lyra looked uncertain. She sat among the vines, her hands trembling slightly. "Then what do we do?" Thought about it. Really thought about it. And then I smiled. "We compromise." The ending. The compromise wasn't perfect, but it saved us. Lyra agreed to spend her sleepless hours outside our quarters, helping in the hydroponics bay, volunteering in medical, or even wandering the station's endless corridors. She threw herself into work and projects, filling her boundless hours with productivity. In return, I promised to share more of my waking hours with her, even if it meant cutting into my precious sleep. Morning walks through the gardens. Late-night stargazing before I collapsed into bed. Sharing meals where she'd watch me eat with fascination, nibbling occasionally at something she'd grown. It wasn't easy. There were nights I still startled awake to find her quietly sketching beside me, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. But instead of frustration, I learned to smile at it. To accept that I'd married someone extraordinary. One morning, as I rubbed sleep from my eyes, she leaned over and kissed my forehead. "You dream loudly," she teased. "But I like listening." I laughed, shaking my head. "Why did I marry an alien again?" She tilted her head, all mock seriousness. "Because you didn't know we never rest." And somehow, in that moment I realized maybe that was exactly why.